Welcome to part 2 of the Dwarven City Gate tutorial. Let's pick up right where we left off. So last time we had just finished with this phase here, so of course we're going on to the next one. And it's been a little while since I've done this. I think we start with the statue first. Of course the the statues have their own tutorial video, so I'm just going to give you a quick look here at the slice, and then we're going to go, I think for the meantime, we're going to start right here on our center line, right there. And then we're just going to scroll around the edges and take a look at the blocks. Because it's a whole bunch of 1, 2, and 3 counting, so there's not a whole lot of point in doing that. It'd be a lot more expedient for me to just show it to you. Of course, here we have our detached columns. Just a couple of those. And then back here we stopped here because on the last one, because this was the top level of the section, which should be slotted somewhere into your mountain, wherever you want to build that in front of. So we just need to turn the corner and keep going this way. And, looks like there might be a few extra blocks back here that you may or may not need. In fact, I'm reasonably sure you don't. I'm pretty sure all this is going to be filled in. So you, of course, only have to build the shell. And this right here is along our center line. Right there, so everything we just did, you want to do it again. Just mirrored on the other side of the building there. And I think over here, I don't remember, were we doing... I'm not sure why this is extended up all the way to the... Nope. You definitely don't need to worry about those. I think what I was doing with that is I was thinking about putting ladders at some point to access higher up levels. But I didn't end up adding those, and I think that's left over from that, I think. It's been a while since I built this, so I'm not quite sure on that. Here is, of course, the statue for the next phase, and we'll go back here. And we'll take another trip around the building. A lot of this, as you can see, is going to be just extended straight up. It's only on these panels here that there's going to be anything different. So maybe for the sake of making the video a little bit shorter, when it's just going to be extended up like this, I'm going to kind of gloss over that. And I'll pause here over the side panels whenever there's something different. And that'll speed things up a little bit. Now, some of this detail at the back may still be clipped into your mountain, so you may end up not having to add it, depending on the topography. But because I don't know the exact shape of your mountain, all I can do is just, I can round this off to a box here at the back, and the rest of it, you're just going to have to kind of find a way to fit into your landscape. I'm pretty sure I went over that in detail when I showed you the example of that. I just want to give you a refresher, because we are at that level again where it's becoming important. Alright, so we took a look at the statue, and here we are for the walls again. Straight up. Same deal for the side panels. Right there. All of this still going straight up. Some only minor details here for the side panels. And then here along the back. And all this is, you can probably just fill that in with filler blocks. Alright, next phase. We're definitely going to finish the statues today. Right there. And here we are. Strap a torch on our center line. And then take a trip around the building again. We have to slow down when we get to the sections that are less vertical. But for a lot of the phases for the opening part today, it's all going to be going straight up, so there's not a whole lot that we need to take a look at specifically for these. So I'm going to kind of go a little bit faster than normal and gloss over some sections. But of course, if you need more time for anything, there's always the pause button. Next section of the statue here. And over this way. In fact, I'm thinking about delaying the release of this for a little bit, and I might put all the parts into one big video and see how people like that. If you prefer that for these long tutorials, if you just prefer to have like one video for the whole thing, or maybe like have the tour detached from the tutorial itself, because I know a lot of you just download the buildings and you just kind of look at the tour and you don't actually need the tutorial, which is not really good for the video in general. I'm just trying to think about what type of content I can make along that line that would serve you better. So if you've gotten this far, let me know in the comments if you have a preference about that. Alright, there we are for that one. Let's go on to the next phase over here. Let's take a look at the statue. And then here for the panels. Now, the difficulty in this building isn't really too much in the details, it's more of the size that I think is mostly the challenge in it. But it is a whole city gate, so it does have to be big and impressive. It has to match the grandeur of the pillared hallways and everything else that I've done for the Dwarven style, so... Alright. Next slice of the statue. And next level of the building. Everything's still going straight up except for the side panels. Only small amounts of detail in those. Go on to the next one. The slice of the statue. We should have the arms of the statue now, clutching the pommel of the hammer. These are going to be pretty easy. We can go pretty quick over this one. Everything's being extended straight up except for the panels, and they just have obsidian straight across those. And that's all extended up for that one. Right there, and the side one just straight obsidian across the back. Alright, let's take a look here now at the next slice of the statues. And then over here for the panels again. It looks like it's the same deal, actually. The same thing as the last phase that we just did. We're extending everything up and including the obsidian. So there's a little bit of gold right there in that panel. Otherwise, everything else is the same as the previous phase. Alright, let's take a next look at the statue here. And let's see, is there anything different for this? No, just wait. Yeah, okay, there is something different here. Now, finally, we have a little bit of obsidian hanging over right here. 6 blocks right there. And also these blocks here. Otherwise, everything else is being extended straight up. 4 blocks of overhanging obsidian there. Another 4 right there. And several more around here. And here as well again. And that's our center line, so everything else is the mirror image of that. And let's go on to the next phase. Here now at the statue. Drop a torch on our center line. And all the obsidian is being extended up. In fact, I think this phase here is a copy of the previous phase, so you want to go all the way around your building and just stack up everything by 1 block. Except for here, where we have 2 blocks of glowstone. Otherwise, all the panels and everything is going to be the same. Alright, next phase here for the statue. Getting ready to build the head of the statue now. Over here, let's drop a torch on our center line. And we do have overhanging blocks here and here. We're getting ready to cap off the side panels. And we've gone back in a block right there for those. So we just had these little 2 block bands of obsidian. They correspond to basically these down here. And this level here is corresponding to what we just built over there. So we're going to be flipping this upside down and building the bases as the capitals of these particular blasters. We do have an extra block of obsidian there, though. I'm not sure why that's there. That may be a stray block. Well, let's go ahead and put it down anyway. We do have some on the side here. That's probably what that's from. That we definitely needed, I think. But again, this building is so big that a couple of blocks here and there, nobody's going to notice that. So we got 4 blocks of obsidian here. Detail for the side panel. Another 4 blocks of obsidian there. And here for the panels at the back, which may or may not be hidden by your mountain anyway. And all this stuff back here, that's, you can just fill all that in. Just continue to ignore everything. Everything back there under the torches, you can ignore that. All right, next phase. Just a couple of blocks there, and we're now building, of course, the head of the Dwarven statue. Torch on our center line. A couple of obsidian blocks extending out there. And here as well. And then, what is that, 6 blocks for that one. One over here. And here we have more obsidian and red nether brick for these because, of course, for that we are taking this detail we did back down here and we're flipping it on top of itself for the column here. Detail for the side panel. And the detail for the back. Because unlike some people, we do have to finish the back of our building. Even though it may be hidden by a mountain, we still need to do it. It's important. Because if we don't do it now, you may have trouble picking up the pattern when we do it, when the building rises higher than your mountain. Alright, so here we have the very narrow eye slits for the dwarf. Accomplished by putting some cobblestone slab eyebrows on him. There, I think that's probably actually for the helmet, but... Alright, so next level here we have various blocks of overhanging cobbled deep slate. And here for the obsidian and the red nether brick. And a bit more detail here for the column. Remember, we have these holes here are cut out because we've got some hidden lighting. We can see the glowstone back down there. So we're going to be just flipping that upside down and doing it again. From, what was that? That had to have been all the way back in part 1. So we're getting into more of the detail, so I have to slow down a bit. We're kind of past the point where everything's just going vertically up. Now we have several overhanging blocks here and there to take note of. We're almost finished with these statues, though. A little bit there for the head. And then over here, drop a torch on our center line. And take a look at the next block sequence. Alright, there we are at the back. So let's go on to the next phase. Not a whole lot to say for that last one. Almost done with our statues, though. We are capping off the side panels here, though, with a bit of cobbled deep slate. A bit of overhanging obsidian here and there. And I think in order to get as much done as we can today, tutorial length is mostly limited by how long I can talk for. I'm going to try to be a little bit more sparing with the words today. Because there's not a whole lot of verbal description I can provide from this point onwards that'll be that beneficial, since we mostly have to just look at it and replicate the block patterns. But if we have overhanging blocks like that there, I'll try and drop a torch on it to specifically point it out, so we make sure that we don't miss it. Next phase here for the statue. Almost done. We just got a couple of ornamental details to add on the helmet up here, and then those are going to be finished. Block of gold ore on the center line. Next phase, I think we're almost done. Just a couple of blocks of gold and obsidian there. Next phase here, I believe 2 more blocks of gold ore there, and your Dwarven axe, not axe, the hammer statues, flanking either side of your entrance to your city gate will be complete. So now from here on out, we're only going to be focusing on building the main body of the tower. And we built all the interior of the tower already down there. So we're just building the top shell of it now, really. Place torches on glowstone. Which I guess that makes sense. I mean, it is a lighting block. We do have some overhanging cobbled deep slate there, though. So now we just have to ascend the rest of the tower for the gate. And then we'll be good. I'm going to try and get as far into that as I can today, but we're not going to finish because it's quite a tall edifice. I think this is going to be a 3-parter for sure. But I want to try and get at least halfway up the tower today. And some overhanging couple deep slate there. All right, time for the next phase. I think a lot of this one's going to be a repeat of what we just did. All right, on to the next one. Some overhanging cobble deep slate here, 3 blocks. Bit of overhanging obsidian here. All right, that's half of it. So next phase, right here. All right, next phase. All right, next phase again. bits of overhanging obsidian here. Next phase. Next phase. Overhanging blocks here. Quite a few of them. Next phase. Next phase. Quite a few overhanging blocks here. Next phase, a little bit of overhang cobbled deep slate here to cap off that panel. Next phase, next phase. Alright, next phase here. We are starting to put on one of the coffers. That's going to cap off our ceiling here. And our little entrance vestibule. And we're mostly just making a big octagonal section out of that. Right there. And then we'll go straight across the front. We're quite high up now. So if you haven't repaired your elytra in a while, this would be a good time to check that. Safety first. Can't have you falling to your death now. Even though you should be pretty safe. Because of the way we're building this, you ought to be able to just walk on the building as you build it. Not a whole lot of need for scaffolding. Alright, next phase. Torch there. We do have a block of floating obsidian. That's going to be what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks out. And then on what, the 7th block there. And then some obsidian detail behind that. Next phase. A bit of ceiling detail here. And that's all there is for that one. All right, next phase. Some gold and obsidian to deal with. Except for the corners, we're just mostly doing a lot of straight runs of cobbled deep slate. Next phase here, we got one block of glowstone up here for a bit of hidden lighting. All right, next phase, a little bit more glowstone. Up here. Almost done with that. And now a lot of obsidian. Or in your case, most likely blackstone. All right, next phase. I think this is going to be the last one for this. Just about. Alright, so just a little bit of gold ore up in the top there. Right back up there in those open corners, and that entire ceiling will be complete. Nice little softly glowing ceiling up there. Although you may want to put a couple more torches up there as well to help shed a bit more light on some things. Let's throw down a couple. Yeah, it looks better. Where would be a good place to put that? I mean, well, we can't really hide it, so we may as well make it a feature. Our entrance is really taking shape. But we still have a whole bunch more to go. So we finished that, so now from here on out we're focusing only on just the exterior shells. For however long I can continue to go on today. Not sure how long it's been so far. It feels like a long time, but I can't see the timer, so. I think we'll just keep going until I see a suitable stopping place. Next phase. Torch on the center line. Let's see. There we are. Next phase. Yeah, okay. Well, this looks like a good stopping point here. We've gotten, what, from all the way down there, all the way up here? It's not quite halfway, but it is a lot of the way up. Next time we're going to be starting here, and we'll be taking a look at building these little platforms we have back here for you to stand on and admire your realm around there. But we will have to do that next time. So I'd like to thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time for part 3.